It's the Scotch Test Dummies. We got 1792 Sweet Wheat.
Boom. A wheated whiskey.
Let's test it.
Test it! All right, Bruno.
1792. It's from the Bardstown Distillery.
Love that. There's basically a singing town.
What's Bardstown, Kentucky? Is it the Bardstown Distillery?
I believe so.
I'm drawing a blank. As soon as I started to say it.
You're a good man. You're right on.
Barton Distillery.
Oh, this is the Barton.
Barton Distillery. Bardstown, Kentucky. That's
Right.
what I always get turned around.
Right.
And they've got, I think, 4 out. We've done the small batch. It's either the small batch or the single barrel.
We did the small batch.
And
Well, you're a good
then
point, good
the
point.
full proof.
Okay.
There is the sweet wheat right here. And
That's
then there's a port cask finish, which
Right.
we haven't had.
Right. I was going to say the port cask is one we haven't had.
Now the good thing with the 1792s, they're all they all come in $40 range.
And they look great. Wonderful presentation. Now I tasted this, but for whatever reason, not locating. Oh, there it is. There it is. October 2nd.
Bam.
Boom. I couldn't find it. I was about ready to give up on my notes. Many of you know we'll pre-taste a lot of our whiskeys, and then we try it again on the show. I'm Bart. He's Scott. The whole purpose of the show is a 100%. What was that? I was like this. Hi. The whole purpose is a legit review of the juice, of the whiskey, but a lot of whimsy. Have we ever worn a tweed jacket?
No.
No, while we're
should.
doing this. Yeah, we had we do live shows on Sundays. We had a guy mention that, love you guys because you're not pretentious. We are definitely not pretentious. So what you're going to get is a whimsical review, a legit review of our tastes of the individual spirit, and then sometimes a lot of blathering.
Sometimes.
That may or may not be entertaining to you. So sometimes, occasionally.
Now the sweet wheat is 45.6% ABV. A little bit stronger, which is what I like. I'm calling for, I think we should raise our minimum standards from 40% to 45%.
Yeah, you do not like the 40% ABV.
Well,
We've run across a couple that are okay.
yeah.
A lot of times they taste watered
I don't-
down at 40.
Well, I'll tell you, if I'm in the store and I'm looking at the shelf, I'm like, okay, should I buy that or that? Well, what's this stuff? Oh, it's new. Oh, it's 40%.
Yeah, and then you're like,
For the
maybe.
same price or a little bit more, I can get this other.
So is it a value deal or is it a taste deal?
Both, I think.
Okay.
I think it's both starting to come into play.
Right. The higher alcohol content usually gives it a little bit of spice, a little bit of kick.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because when I started off, I was like, whoa. And now where my palate is, I'm
Yeah.
like 40%. Come on.
Again, 45.6% though. I tell you, on the nose, I get sweet cherries, vanilla, oak, and kind of a perfume.
Really?
Which is, I think that's that wheat. Where this is named sweet wheat, wheat gives more of a sweet character.
Okay.
So they've taken the sweet character of the wheat and they've named this one sweet wheat because you get some of those sweeter characteristics on the nose and on the palate as well.
I get the sweetness. I totally pick up those floral notes you're talking about, but I get a hint of clay underneath. A little bit of clay, like we got a lot of clay here in Kansas, and when you're digging, planting a tree, a shrub, whatever, you get a little bit of that earthy clayness, and that's what I get here. But
Yep.
you're right, it's wrapped in there with a sweet floral.
Yes. Now I will tell you, this is Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey
Right.
also. So 51% corn, and then the majority of that other 49% is going to be wheat.
And it's
To
been
get
at least
wheated.
2 years in a cask, at least.
Yes.
All right, so the nose is interesting. I mean, the nose is appealing, sweet, earthy, clay-like for me.
On the palate, the sweetness immediately moves in. I've got a very smooth vanilla cream with it. Cinnamon. Oak.
My notes that I took October 2nd are not in line with what I'm tasting now. So I'm going to tell you. On the taste, I put faint and light. Where is it? That's not what I'm getting now. I'm getting a burst of flavor at the beginning. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe it opened up a little bit. I get a little spark in that burst. And then,
Now I think the same for me though, and I think oxidation must have helped a little bit. At first I wasn't that impressed with it. A lot of people, you know, the Wheateds and the Van Winkles. I'm drawing a blank on the other Wheateds that are out there, Wellers.
okay, yeah.
At first I was kind of unimpressed with this one.
Okay.
I've
would
marked
say
it.
me
I've,
too.
I've marked it up a notch or two sitting here today.
Yeah, my taste notes on here are underwhelming. On my notes back in early October, really not comparing with what I'm getting here today. Today I'm getting a sparkiness, a robustness. There's not a lot of aftertaste. I've got a beautiful mouth coating though. The mouth
Toffee.
coating, yeah, toffee honey is what I was thinking.
Butterscotch.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you again, if you get something that's not necessarily impressive to you as soon as you uncork it or unscrew off the capet, let it sit a bit. Come back to it because this
That's
is
what you call
surprising.
it. Sit a bit.
Sit a bit. I like that. We should coin that. Sit a bit. This is a sit a bit whiskey. Come back to this later, and I think you're going to be a little bit more impressed with it. I am here today, and I'm surprised that you're echoing that same sentiment. Coming into this, I thought this was like the weak little brother of the trio that we've tried,
That's what I thought too.
and I'm a little bit more impressed. Dare I say, calling out for a shootout. All right, I think a shootout with these. If we and you said there's a fourth one that's a cast strength on the bourbon.
No, we've had the full proof,
Okay, that's right. That is right.
and then the first one we had, I think it's either single barrel or small batch. I think it's small 1792 small batch. So we've had the small batch, we've had the full proof, and we've had the sweet wheat. Now the fourth one is the port cask finish.
We need that. And the full proof was the one that was a little bit tricky. They age it, it's in the cask, and then when they pull it out of the cask, they bring the ABV back to where it was when they put it in the cask. Isn't that correct?
Ooh,
It's a little bit
I don't
tricky.
remember.
Yeah, the full proof statement confused me. I researched it. I think I'm close. I would love to try the port cask of this family, and then for us to do a shootout of the 1792, because there's something going on here. Like I said, my score was pretty darn low. My original score was an 84. I'm moving it to 86. Oh wow, you went to an 88.
88. I had it 87. You just bumped yours to an 86.
I
and we
bumped
were
mine
right in there.
up too. I mean, I'm going to show you right
But
here.
yeah, I also bumped mine up.
Oh,
So there's something
sorry.
going on there
You can
that we
see
both.
there's an 84 there.
Yeah, but I mean something's going on the same. And we just did this Yellowstone bourbon, similar, and Eagle Rare. You know, that oxidation a little bit.
the
little
change.
bit of
Yeah,
time.
I wouldn't say they're close to each other, but yeah, they
No.
definitely opened up.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And that goes back to that. Sometimes you buy a bottle and you pour a couple of drinks out of it, and then you just set it aside
Yeah.
and leave it for a month or two.
This one's going to grow on
And
you.
come
I
back to
guarantee
it.
it. I guarantee it. Pop the cork. Try a little bit. I encourage you, take some notes. Recork it. Put it on the shelf. Forget about it. Forget about it for 2 months.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Then come back. Check your notes. Don't look at your prior notes. See what's going on. Now, I just dropped one of our coins, and that was unintentional. But this is one of our ceramic coated kind of poker chip coins that doubles as a topper to keep the nosing in there. These are $10.
Yes.
Tell us some more.
ScotchTestDummies.com. Our first run, they're numbered to 250. And we've also labeled them with cask number 1 on there. So that means that's the first run. Next run will be cask 2. And maybe we'll get more. Might get 500 in the next run. So
maybe. It's got some of our catchphrases like "Scotch it, you Scotch gods," "Test it," and then we've got our Solancha dummies along with "Is it worth it," which is a segment.
Yep. These are ceramic. Some call them poker chips since they're ceramic. In other areas, they're known as.
And they're tough.
Yeah, they are tough. They're ceramic. They are tough.
Yeah.
And I had one before we ordered these. I'd gotten one from a buddy. He had it from something else.
Like the military.
And I was testing it at home on the granite, on my granite, throwing it, dropping it,
Trying to break it.
Yeah, flipping it, nothing. So they are tough.
Tough, just like the dummies.
Yeah, we're one of us.
Well, I didn't want to disparage you. All right. What else, brother?
Is it worth it? We got into that. Most of these are $35 to $45 range. So.
Yes.
And this one was right in there. I don't remember. Let me see if I put down
what it was. But while you're looking at it, there's two things going on with this. First of all, wonderful presentation. I mean, let's admit that's marketing, but the gold cap, the shape of the bottle. This is not your standard bottle, so they did a wonderful job of the marketing, but then the flavor profiles really on every single one of them I've had has been good. This was the one, like I said, I thought was the weak little brother, but it improved as we let it sit. You can tell neither of us have been really dipping in on it, but it is good. It is very good. Yeah. Again, what say you?
So is it worth it? Yes, I say so. Yeah. Definitely.
How much? 35 you said? 40?
Yeah, say 35 to 40.
Wonderful. Good. I think we're in, we're out.
Yep.
Scotch it, you Scotch gods.
Solancha. Dummies.